Welcome to cooking. Today we are doing a summer salad, and one of my favorites, y'all know I am pretty Mexican inside, so this is a Mexican corn salad. And it's interesting, these salads, it's a salad. You can really add anything you want to. If you've got leftover peppers, you've got leftover celery, shredded carrots, every time you make it, it can taste something different, which is pretty amazing. So again, wash your hands. We're going to read through ingredients, read through directions, and then we'll make it. So ingredients, all of our veggies, we're going to throw them together in a bowl. We got cherry tomatoes already cut up, corn already cooked and cooled, avocados, red onion, and my favorite herb, cilantro. And then the dressing we're going to put together in a bowl. We've got some olive oil, remembering olive oil is the healthiest oil for our body to use at cold temperature. Our body loves olive oil. Our cells in our body are made up of fat, and so we're needing to replace them when they break down and turn over, which is a daily activity for our body, making new cells, and we need some good healthy fat in our body. And olive oil, you should be aiming to get a little bit of olive oil every single day in your meal plan. With the olive oil, we're going to mix some freshly squeezed lime juice. You can use your bottled stuff in the fridge if you don't have any fresh ones. We've got some flavors. We've got garlic, salt and pepper, cumin, and chili powder. We're going to whisk all that together, pour it on top, and give it a stir. So salads are fantastically easy. You chop everything up, or you have Marianne chop it all up for you in beautifully shaped pieces. So thank you so much. And you throw it into a bowl, you whisk your dressing, pour it on top. Very easy. And the great thing too is if you buy tomatoes the day before and you're eating them, just chop a few up because you know you're going to make a salad the next day, and then that saves you a good amount of time. So we have 2 cups of cherry tomatoes. I sound like I should be on Sesame Street back in the day, Count Dracula. 2 cups. That's right. 3 cups of corn. Add it back in. Now, if you don't like corn, if you love corn, you can mix and play around with all of these amounts, of course. Fresh corn is going to have a lot more flavor than this frozen kind that we got, but both work great. The fresh, you probably don't even have to cook it. A crunch of the corn in a salad, I suspect, would be quite nice. But if you have cooked corn on the cob and you've got some extras, just put the corn on the cob down, chop off all the sides, and then make the salad. So this is what we used, a frozen section at Metro or Food Basics. Yep, usually $2.99, $3.99, somewhere in there. What I love about the frozen is that you just take a little bit out, you put it back in the freezer, and 2 weeks later, a month later, it's still good and you can use more of it. So frozen is fantastic. Nothing wrong with a frozen vegetable. All right, 2 avocados. Why are we adding avocados? It is because avocados are another healthy fat, just like the olive oil. And remember, olive oil comes from the olive. So if you like olives, you are eating healthy fat as you're eating olives. So you can just eat olives instead of the olive oil into something. So avocado is a fruit, but it's a high fat fruit and it's not a sweet fruit. How do we know when these are ripe? Well, the top comes off a lot easier than this one. So we know that this one's not quite ripe, but there you go. So the top comes off pretty easily. Let's see if any of the other ones, that might be a bit riper because that has it off already. We're using 2 of them. So we're gonna put this first one back. How do you know when an avocado is ripe? Well, you do the squeeze test. When you can squeeze it, and this one does it quite well, you can squeeze it and it indents just a little bit, it's perfect. Put it in the fridge until you can eat it, and eat it within probably the next 3 days. When you squeeze it, and this one's kind of hard still, and you can see the stem is still light green, whereas this one's dried out because the stem had fallen out a little bit ago. But this one is a little bit harder than this one, so it's not quite as ripe. But I would rather them underripe than overripe. Overripe, it looks like a shriveled apple, right? When it gets all dehydrated, there's going to be black lines on the inside of these. You don't want that. That turns a little bit bitter and it's not going to be a very tasty avocado at all. So the trick to cutting avocados is remembering that on the inside, there's a bit of a baseball. So you just have to cut. This one's quite hard. It's so hard. Yeah, right, because black is supposed to represent ripe because you purchase them and they're green. So you got a little baseball, you just cut around it and then you twist it until you can get it out. We're not measuring these, it just says 2 avocados. I'm gonna get a smaller knife so I don't rip my hand off. With a smaller knife, you can put your 2 fingers around the avocado or your 1 finger as you're digging in, because what you don't want to do is stick your knife through that. You can do it on here as well. I had just done it enough to know how to do that. But you're just going to kind of score it into a crisscross pattern, remembering that in a salad, you kind of want all the bites the same size. So you don't want some big old pieces of avocado. So you just give it a turn and then you cut it this direction. You can see it's already starting to pop out. And this is a bit crunchier than we normally like to use them, but it'll taste fine. It'll taste avocados are kind of like pears in the fact that if you eat them before they're fully ripe, they taste a little bit dry and they're crunchier, and they're just not quite as soft and sweet. If sweet and avocado go well together, I don't think they do. But so then after that, all you're going to do is just squeeze it, and if it was a little bit riper, then it would just kind of all fall out of the skin. And so avocados are really easy to take as a whole and take it to work at lunch and eat half today and half the next day, on a toast or with a tomato and lettuce, mayonnaise or butter on that if you need. So get that all peeled. This is going to be a little bit trickier because this is not ripe, but you take your knife and you insert it into the pit. And because it's circular, usually you just have to twist it. But not today, folks. But isn't that interesting? I just love fruit is like, it's alive and active. Look at that. You plant that pit, and that's what's going to grow up into the shoot, the avocado tree. So we have our avocados getting done. Marianne's done the rest of these, so it's much easier. Thank you so much. Half of a red onion. Now, a red onion is a little bit different flavored than that yellow or that cooking onion. It's a little bit less strong, and it has a beautiful color. But if you only have the yellow cooking onion, go for it. Use that. It's not like you're just going to be biting right into the onion. Oh, you could use. Yeah. So like a scallion, that's what you're thinking? Yeah, so you could totally use green onions instead. That would be a great addition. And then we're going to use cilantro. Now, I know that there's some of you that are just turned up your nose and went, I don't like cilantro. So you don't have to use cilantro. Remember, it's a salad and you can use what you would like to use. I like cilantro, so we're going to use it. Although these leaves are pretty big, so I'm just going to chop them a little bit. Remember, on a cutting board like this, you want a big bellied knife. I call it a chef's knife. Keep your hand flat and the tip stays on the cutting board, and you just go across. You want a sharp knife. Not so sure this is fully sharp because it's not fully cutting. Might have to go across them. But as you're cutting an herb, it's releasing the juice, the oil, and you can smell it. So it's quite delicious. So instead of cilantro, if you say to me, though that tastes soapy, then you have a genetic predisposition or a part of your DNA that doesn't like the cilantro smell. And so you'll never probably learn to like it. So just use parsley. It'll taste different, but it's fine. So these are the stalks that the cilantro leaves grow on. They're really too thick to eat. The smaller ones you can eat, but you just want to pull off the leaves. If you have a whole lot of them, you can just hold the one end and pop it just like that. Parsley is the same. You're going to have a lot of these leaves, and then you don't want to eat those big, thicker stalks in the middle. The thin stalks, parsley has a little bit more thinner stalks often. So you can eat those. Just make sure that when you're rolling them between your fingers, they're tender instead of thick and hearty. Excellent. So we've got our salad. We're just going to do our dressing. So we need some olive oil, a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And I think I added a little extra. That's all right. And our freshly squeezed lime juice. I think I'm going to just do a little demo here. So our lime juice, you can get from a bottle, but that means somebody else did it for you and you're going to pay some extra money. Limes don't have seeds typically, so they're super easy to squeeze. Cut it in half, and then you go once around. You don't even squeeze the lime. You just stick your fork in all the way to the other side, and you can already see it juicing out here. So you're just trying to break up those juice sacs. So you just stick it all the way around, and then you tip it upside down. You put your fork in and you just seesaw back and forth. It's going to finish breaking up all of those juice sacs in there. That's what you want because you don't want to throw out anything that's in there. If you like lime, you might want to add a little extra, but don't go more than the amount of oil you use because a vinaigrette is typically 2/3 oil, 1/3 acid, which is the lime juice, and that makes a good balance. So we're going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of lime juice. So that recipe says to go over. So hey, that is interesting. So we'll add the 3. We've got it here. Why not? Perfect. 3 tablespoons of lime juice. And Marianne actually went the extra journey and she put the zest in there for added flavor. My favorite part. And then we're going to add some flavoring. Now you do what you like. You like garlic? Add double garlic. If you don't like the other things, don't add the other parts to it. Today we are going to do 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now remember, garlic powder is much stronger because it's dehydrated, takes the water out. So you don't add as much of the powder as you would a clove, like a freshly grated. So if it says 1 teaspoon of garlic freshly grated, only add 1/2 of that dried. We're going to do 1/4 teaspoon black pepper. And of course, the freshly ground tastes great and a bit fresher. We're going to just use this 1/2 teaspoon and do the 3/4 teaspoon salt. And we got a new pour for the salt. I'm so excited. This is fantastic. Before I was pouring it into my hand, which was terrible because it was a really big box. So much easier. And so when you have this, is like what they do for baking soda, baking powder sometimes too, where they have an opening, which is really nice because then you just scrape it flat and you know you have the exact amount that you need, unless the recipe calls for a different amount than the spoon you're using. So that was just a 3/4 teaspoon. And we're going to use 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. So 2 of these, or 1 rounded because I like cumin. And as optional, if you like a little bit of spice, chili powder is not a whole lot spicy, but it has a little bit of heat to it. So 1/4 teaspoon of that. We're going to whisk that together. So we're on to direction number 2. We're whisking it, and then we're drizzling it, and then we're mixing it, and that's it. So we'll pull this over here. Those avocados were very much not ripe, so Marianne is definitely working hard. Oh, the first one was decent. Right, yeah. So when it's not ripe, then it tends to stick to the skin a lot more. So that's an easy way to tell if it's ripe, right? When you're squeezing it and it can indent, that means it's going to come off the skin really well. So that's fantastic. Wow, I love it. That red popped when those tomatoes got stirred off the bottom. Whoops, and thrown out. It's just a beautiful color. Look at that. And remember, if you don't like something that we've added, this is your salad when you make it. So you can make whatever it is you might like and add it in there. If you don't think there's enough dressing, you add more. If you like zesty Italian and you didn't want to make your own, just use it. Salads are like different flavors every time, which is really, really great. So you can just keep changing it up and enjoy it every time you're making it. And if somebody needs a recipe, they're going to have to know that it's not always going to taste this way. So here's the rest of the avocado. Dump it in and stir it up. Now, avocados won't keep ripening once you, well, I guess they will a little bit. Once you've had them in the fridge, they're going to slow down. So when you have the salad in the fridge, it's going to ripen a little bit, but not a ton. But there you have it, our Mexican corn salad.